IREN completes Nostrum acquisition and adds 490 megawatts in Spain for Europe AI cloud push. Now, this deal was announced in May, and now IREN is announcing that they have completed it. And what this will give them is 490 megawatts of secured power in Spain for building AI data centers. IREN noted that this increases their total power portfolio to 5 gigawatts. I believe that's secured power. I think that if you look at everything net in terms of what they have in their pipeline, what they have their eyes on, it's a little bit more than that. As of 2024, according to CleanBridge, Spain's total IT data center capacity was 354.9 megawatts. Like half of that is in Madrid. Aliasoft puts the range somewhat lower at 200 to 350 megawatts of installed capacity, around 200 data centers, with a figure that could rise to 730 megawatts by 2026. And that market is expected to grow, according to some other estimates here. By 2030, the data center market in Spain is expected to grow to 4.79 gigawatts. Microsoft has a 300 megawatt first phase build in Aragon. Blackstone has a 500 megawatt Zaragoza campus. Amazon, Microsoft, and Google collectively have more than 1 gigawatt under development across Madrid, Barcelona, and Aragon. So,
according to the Nostrum CEO, there is a sovereign AI dimension to this, where in that maybe this might have some kind of EU government-backed component to it. If the EU wants to get behind this, we could see, the mix of sovereign-backed AI higher in the EU, which wouldn't be surprising to me, actually.
Yeah, it wouldn't be surprising to me either for a number of reasons, just given that the regulatory environment in the EU is much more big brother and hands-on than the US. Similarly, in Canada, we've seen Hive really beat this drum of partnering for sovereign AI rollouts with Canadian government. It makes sense that you would see the same thing in the EU, specifically these Western nations that just quite frankly have less of a backbone in this area. They don't have nearly as much infrastructure for these data centers. Their regulations, ironically enough, have choked out a lot of the potential for build outs, especially in Europe, where they're kind of in Canada, where they're really kind of partaking in some pretty insane energy policies. It's kind of why I joked about the degrowth thing. But to me, it seems almost necessary that, like, if they want to have an AI footprint, the government is going to have to partner with some of these companies, just for the fact that no one's building over there. And so if you're worried about AI as a national security issue, you're going to have to find some way to develop it with these companies, because that's kind of the regulatory hole you've pigeonholed yourself into. Whereas the US, we don't really need to do that as much, because everyone's building these things in our backyard. And as we've seen with the US government, with Anthropic, right, they'll just go to one of these companies and say, we're going to use your stuff. Whether or not they can, whether or not it's legal, TBD. But they have their pick of the litter, so to speak, in the US government, because the majority of the innovation is here. CleanSpark is a market-leading data center developer with a proven track record of success. NASDAQ CLSK.